Hi, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to speak about tripods. Well, I've got many here, thanks to K&F Concept who always send me tripods. So many people ask me what is the best tripod, what should I buy, how to choose it, is it better this or that. So I'm going to try to answer all these questions, material, sizes, all this, okay? So let's start. First of all, I prefer to warn you that if you're looking for the universal tripod, the perfect tripod, it does not exist. It means maybe you have one tripod that is perfect for what you want to do, and one day you do something else and that perfect tripod is not perfect anymore. Like here you have this one that goes up to 2.40 m, and this really little one, this is carbon fiber, really small, ideal for excursion and walking and trekking, all this. Obviously you will not use any of this in any situation, okay? So it means it's like camera bags. In your photographer's life you will have several camera bags, several tripod, and that's it. So don't be disappointed when you receive your tripod if after a few months you think, yeah, maybe I would need a different one. Yes, it's probably this way, and that's completely normal. By the way, if you have not subscribed yet to my channel, I invite you to do so. That really helps me. So brand send me gear to present on the channel. So please, if you have not subscribed, please do it. If you already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for your help. Okay, so let's carry on. Take into account that there are so many differences, material, way to lock, size, all this. Is so much variety, okay? So it's impossible to have a universal tripod, okay? The size, there are several sizes, not depending on the tripod, but in one tripod there is also several sizes. The size it has when it's closed is really important too, because it depends where you're going to carry the tripod, in your backpack, in a side bag, in your hand, if you're going to go on a plane, on a boat, whatever, okay? So the size when it's closed, it's important. Sometimes you need a really small tripod because the time you carry the tripod, you have a little space, or it has to be easy, okay? Then you have several other sizes. The first one is when it's open, the minimum height, I would say. Okay, let's put the column down, okay? That would be the minimum height, okay? So it depends on what you're going to do. Many people make a massive mistake. They decide on the size of a tripod depending on their own size, okay? Height. That's a big mistake. You do not buy a tripod because you are high or tall or small, okay? You buy a tripod depending on how high the camera needs to be placed, okay? If it has to be next to the floor, mid height, or really high, okay? So it means that maybe you are 6 foot tall, and really you need to make picture really low, and you don't need a tripod that goes really high. Or the other way around, you have to jump to trigger the camera or use a remote trigger because you are not that high, you're really short, but the camera needs to be placed really high. So it's really important that you do not pick a tripod depending on your height. You pick it depending on what kind of picture you want to make, okay? Normally when you get a tripod, because you want stability, maybe you just don't want to move the camera, but normally you want stability. So let's see what is the size you get with the maximum height before you start losing stability. Okay, first you have this would be the most stable. Here you have a column. Some tripod exists without any column, so it means you can really open the leg a lot larger and put the tripod, the head, a lot lower, okay, without reversing it. We'll see that after, okay? But this way, that would be the most stable. But maybe you don't want to make pictures close to the floor. You want to put this a lot higher, okay? So you're going to open the leg. First, always open the widest one, not the small narrow one, because it's less stable. So you always open what you need, starting with the larger one, okay? So if I open completely here, you will see that there is a point where I start losing stability, okay? So it means this is this height. This is the maximum height you get without starting to lose stability. It doesn't mean lower is not more stable. Yes, it is, but this is the maximum you're gonna get. From there, you need to pull the column up and you start losing stability. So it means if you think that you need to make, or you want to make pictures with your camera at this height, well, you need to pick a tripod that when it's open this way at the maximum without pulling up the column is more or less the height you want. Okay, this is just an extra. Okay, but think of your tripod you use at the right height when it's like this. Okay, obviously if you need lower, no problem, you can retract the legs and that's it. Okay, so this is really important. When you pick your tripod, make sure more or less what height you're going to use it without pulling the column out. Okay, as I said before, there are some tripod with column and some without column. All the one I have here have a column. Okay, but let's speak about this famous column. Okay, this column is the most complete I have. Okay, so there are several things you can do with that. One is to pull up the column here. Okay, and then when I pull a bit up again this way, I can place the bar in horizontal. That's really useful if you need to make tabletop pictures like a macro, or when I make picture to my film, negative film, I use my macro and I do it on top of the table this way. So it's really handy. Sometimes you need the camera to be on the side. Well, that's a possibility. Okay, so this is a feature that may interest you. And then under every column you normally have a small hook this way. Okay, what is that for? Well, this small hook is actually to hang your bag or anything you need to make weights, because when you pull there it's more stable. Okay, once this hook is out, I can take out the column completely and place it upside down this way. So what's important is that place the hook back, you screw it on, because if the lock of the column would be loose, your camera would fall on the floor. Okay, so it's really important you place this back. Okay, so this way it cannot go further. Okay, so if I place this way and then I pull up the legs this way, then my camera would be next to the floor. So sometimes you need to make a picture or video with the camera really close to the floor or the base. Maybe it's on top of a table, okay, but you need to have this way, and more logically it would be on the floor. Okay, so you can put upside down. So it's important when you pick a column, take this into account. What kind of picture you're going to do, and if you need horizontal or a reverse column. Okay, let's speak about the legs. Well, there are several ways to lock. This one is a screw. Okay, but there are some that are like ski boots, where you actually lock like this. Well, before I preferred that only, but now I've tested the screw. I like both. Okay, this one, the problem is if it gets loose with time, it's really hard to close well. There are some very expensive tripods. You can actually correct that, screw it, tighten it a bit. Okay, the advantage of this screw system is that you will screw stronger, and that's it. Okay, then if you look at the amount of section, the more section you have, normally the smallest you can get the leg, but the less stability you have. So if you really need stability, it's better to have less sections than many. Okay. Then the material that is used, this is carbon fiber and this is aluminum alloy. Which one is better? Well, many people think this is better because it's lighter, and actually carbon is not especially lighter. It's a bit lighter, but not that much lighter, but it's more rigid. So if it's windy or this, maybe this is better. But on the other hand, carbon is a real magnet for lighting. It means if there is a massive storm, many landscape photographers prefer not to have carbon because it will attract lighting. So it all depends on what you want to do. Okay, and then this is circular section, and there are some trapezoidal section or triangle. Which one is better? Well, it depends on you. Really, it depends on the combination of height, material, design, all that. So I would not say one is always better. It really depends on what you're getting. Okay, but this is basically the differences. Okay, between the two. Let's get to the head. Well, there are several kind of head. Normally you can unscrew it and put another head on your tripod, some head you would maybe prefer. There are many type of heads. This one, they have a ball head, which is great because you can actually put it sideways 90 degrees if you want. Okay, some people don't like it, depends what you want to do. Here you have a graduation, so if you make panoramic photography, you can actually know exactly how many degrees you're changing. There are many type of heads. It depends what you want to do. Okay, but take it into account when you buy it to know what's possible. And then what's important is the base plate. Okay, this is a standard Arca Swiss. There are several standards, but this one is probably the most seen. So it means if you lose it, it's really easy to find another one. If you buy a tripod that has a fancy plate, if you lose it, maybe they will charge you a lot to get a new one, or simply the tripod is not made anymore and you cannot find a plate replacement. Okay, so it means that your tripod is just dead, useless without this small plate. So it's important to get a tripod that has a standard plate. And then you need to know what you are going to put on top of this tripod. It's not the same thing, a camera that weighs 2 kilos and 5 kilos, and more important, or even more important than the weight, is also the balance. Okay, when they sell you a tripod, or you look at the specs, they tell you the maximum weight you can put on it, but it's here in the center. So it means if you have a massive tele lens here and the camera is here, it's unbalanced, it may fall. Okay, so it's important that when you use a lens like this, normally there is a ring with a tripod mount, and you will actually put the tripod on the lens, not on the camera, so it's more in balance. Okay, and then try to have some margin. Don't get a tripod that can bear up to 2 kilos, for example, to put a camera that weighs 1.8 kilos. Don't also need a 15 kilo maximum weight for a camera that is 500 grams. Okay, but try to have some margin, like twice or something like this. So this way you make sure your tripod is not forced, is not under too heavy weight or on the limit. Okay, so it's important. Check the weight of what you will probably put on the tripod and pick a tripod that can without any problem stand it. Okay, bear it. Okay, another plus, many tripods offer this possibility. You normally have a leg, you can unscrew it, and here you have a monopod. So here you get the column out. Don't do it because I did it on every of my video, and every video I presented a tripod. Okay, you screw it here and now you have a monopod. That's a really big plus because there are some places where they don't let you use a tripod, and if you use a monopod, yes you can, and it leaves you like a stability this way, it doesn't move upside down. Okay, so if you're doing a car race, like panning like this, you will have this axis will be controlled. Okay, so that's a plus. And sometimes you just want to have your camera on top of it to make a picture from higher, things like this. So the fact that there is a monopod included in the legs, I think this is a plus. Before you had to buy a tripod and also a monopod. Now you have all in one. Okay, so I think that's a good advantage if you get a tripod that already has it. Like any accessory, it gets older and it may be damaged, it can be rusty, although there is some special treatment, anti-rust, anti-oxidation. It's important that you maintain your tripod. Okay, so clean it when you've been close to water with salt, like salty water, like seawater. Clean it with a clean piece of fabric, with humid. You clean it. Maybe you have to vacuum some dust or sand that would be in the legs or in the clothing on the locks. Okay, or some people even put some kind of oil in the locks so you don't get humidity or dust in there. So it's really important you really take care of it. Any tripod, if you don't take care of it, maybe after 3-4 months it's dead. Okay, if you've been in really harsh situation. If you take care of it, maybe 20 years later you still have it. So it's really important. It's like any accessory, take care of it, maintain it. So how much does it cost to buy a tripod? Well, it all depends. You have really entry level, like 20 euros, $20. I had several of them, and when they break apart and your camera is on top of it, you really get scared. So I would not recommend this basic tripod you see very often in special kit offers and things like this. I would avoid them. Okay, and then you have really high end, like 1,000 euros or dollars for a tripod and a head. Do you need them? Well, some are really beautiful, fantastic, great quality, great everything, but not everyone needs it, and maybe you prefer to have something that is more in balance, like that kind of tripod, K&F Concept or similar, that has a reasonable price, and maybe you say, well, I change tripod every 3 years, 4 years because I'm fed up with it, or it's too old, or whatever, and you don't have to put so much money up front, okay? Or maybe you buy a $1,000 tripod and you don't know if it will still alive you. I hope so, but the tripod maybe in 20 years. So it really depends on you. But honestly, I've tested so many tripods by K&F Concept. I would say quality is fantastic. The relation price quality. Is it the best quality? Well, probably not, because you would have to spend maybe 1,000 euros for it. Is it the cheapest quality? Surely not. So I think this is the best balanced product. Not too expensive and good quality for the price you're paying. Okay, so I've got several of them. They normally send me every time they have a new model. Soon I will receive some more, and I can only recommend this tripod, honestly. So in description I leave you links of where you can actually buy them, and honestly, yes, check the page so you have an idea of what's available, and you can check what I've just explained, see it by yourself on a close-up picture, okay? But yes, no doubt you can go and get some K&F Concept tripod, and you'll be probably really happy with them, okay? So thank you very much, K&F Concept, for sending me the tripods. Thank you very much to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here, it's a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything reviewed by K&F Concept and Sandmark, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. You can also do it with a small, there is a small heart and a $sign under every video. You can make a donation there if you wish. No obligation whatsoever. So thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.